Is this the real life, or is this just fantasy? Sang Freddie Mercury of legendary rock band Queen in his 1975 prophetic ode definitely to video gaming, Bohemian Rhapsody. And Freddie was right to be confused. Now, in the year of our Lord 2019, the immersion levels video games can provide have become so impressive, you can often find yourself truly believing you've been taken into the world of the game you're playing, when actually, you're still in your living room, in your pants, surrounded by crisp packets. However close we come, there will always be elements of the video game universe that will never truly transcend into our real world, and although that's ultimately great news for the studios, publishers, and developers paid to transport you to places beyond your wildest dreams, it is a bit of a bummer for us regular folk who could really use a life-changing virtual ability. All we can do is rank some of the things we want the very most, just on the off chance that someone, somewhere, will listen to our pleas and make it happen. Let's look at some. I'm Ben from TripleJump, and here are 10 things from video games we wish were real. Number 10. Relaxed traffic laws. Just imagine it. You're cruising down the open road at a cool 150 miles an hour, cutting in and out of light traffic with a pretty girl or boy sat in the passenger seat of the car you stole about 10 minutes ago. Living the dream! A dream that, here in the real world, might cost you many thousands of pounds quid and a good few years serving at Her Majesty's pleasure, but in many popular video games, such as the Grand Theft Auto franchise, this dream could be totally facilitated by unfussed police. Yeah, they're either stupid, lazy, or overworked, but the police in this style of game tend to only care if you do an actual murder or, bother them in any way, shape, or form, like just looking at them. Oh please, God, no! Feel free to breeze past them at twice the speed limit with bloodstains on the bonnet and a gun on the passenger seat, however, because as long as you don't nick their paintwork, they're not going to bat an eyelid. Speed cameras, roadworks, rush hour traffic jams, you can just forget about those too. Think of all the extra time you could spend in bed because your commute to work is now 10 minutes rather than an hour. Number 9. A third-person viewpoint. How much better would it be if you could have watched yourself do every cool thing you've ever done in your life? I mean, any sporting achievement, any big moment like your first driving lesson, your first kiss, or even just when you absolutely demolished your best friend on Mortal Kombat, it would make life so much more cinematic. There are other, slightly smaller benefits too. General petty crime rates would drop as you'd be able to see that dodgy guy or girl approaching you to steal your wallet and turn to confront him before presumably running away. I don't think you'd fight him, would you? It'd be hard to fight in third person, it would be weird. There would also be a lot more space on people's walls for lovely things like art and clocks, because who needs a mirror anymore when you can just look at yourself in the third person? Perhaps it's not the most necessary ability on this list, but it's definitely one of the coolest. Number 8. An inventory. Phone? Check. Keys? Check. 200 lockpicks and 60 rounds of ammunition for firearms I don't even possess but might someday? Check. This happens to everyone. Losing something you swear you just had in your hand. And it's even worse when it's something you don't often use, because then you're faced with a 45-minute drawer search to find the bloody thing all over again. Consider that nightmare a relic of the past when they finally manage to transfer game inventories to the real world. Kind of like cloud storage, but for actual physical things rather than a very compressed LimeWire download of Where is the Love by the Black Eyed Peas. The inventory system is one that has been used by many a game as an easy way of saving and collating all of the things you've deemed useful enough to pick up on your adventure without having to have a permanent base to store it all. A bit like how you imagined tortoises lived their lives when you were little before the bitter and boring reality of life taught you that there's nothing in their shells, not even a comfy sofa or a bookcase. Oh well. Number 7. Character customization. This one may well speak to you directly as someone who regularly has the desire to alter your look and style, but can't really be bothered to try new things and worries that it might be awful and people will laugh. They won't though. Believe in yourself, buddy. I do. Character customization, although an absolute disaster in the hands of a criminal on the run and looking for a disguise, would be the answer to all of your troubles. A quick preview of the mohawk or maybe a full fringe before probably deciding to stick with what you've got because change is frightening would make the whole process easier, quicker, and more satisfying. And why stop there? Maybe you've always wanted to change the colour of your eyes, lose some weight, or even make some things bigger. like your hands, for better high fives. Character customization would turn the human race into the most beautiful, body-positive species on the planet. Well, probably not. I imagine it would be something of a disaster, but it's worth a try anyway. Number 6. Money is just everywhere. It seems that everyone in video game land needs a little lesson in keeping their things safe and not just putting them on the floor where they're easily visible for others to pick up. I mean, look at Mario. The guy must be a millionaire by now, largely by accident, as he almost can't help but pick up people's discarded money while trying to save the princess. And it's not just money. Anything deemed valuable or important, be that gems, keys, or even deadly assault weapons, you're likely to find them on the floor, almost as if they're supposed to be acquired. Unfortunately, for all of us who live in the real world and have bills to pay, it's likely we'll always have to work for our money rather than just finding it on an adventure or something. Oh well, at least all the other things we've mentioned so far are definitely likely to exist soon. Number 5. Fast travel. Because sometimes being able to speed through traffic in that cool car I was talking about earlier isn't enough. Sometimes you're too busy to spend any real-time traveling at all, and you need to move hundreds of miles in mere seconds. Amazingly, this is also possible in many video games. Generally used in free-roaming RPGs with large maps, fast traveling allows players to skip all the potential risk and tedium of making their own way to the destination, and sometimes charges a small fee to get them there safely and quickly. Although it is debated in the gaming world whether fast travel takes away from the overall experience of the game, I can't imagine there'd be much resistance if this method of transportation were to make its way into the realms of reality. So get on it, science, Elon. Stop going to Mars and make us go to the corner shop for, I don't know, just get on with it. Number 4. Rewinds. Have you ever wanted to take back a moment? Truly, something that makes your skin crawl. A poorly timed comment, an argument triggering slip of the tongue, that time you fell over during assembly at school and literally everyone turned around to stare at you. With rewinds, this could genuinely be a possibility. I mean, sure, we would have to play by the rules and only have maybe 3 or 4 quick save rewinds for our whole lives, or at least per level, year. But even then, the amount of extra sleep you would get because you're not worrying about the mistakes you made 10 years ago would be life-changing. Look, Tim from Braid do it, I'm fairly sure Prince of Persia do it, and even Educated Fleas do it, so why can't we? It'd almost make up for not having fast travel be a reality. Almost. Elon, how's it going? Number 3. Save points. Introduced properly in 1986's The Legend of Zelda, the ability to save in-game was, if you'll pardon the wordplay, a complete game changer. No longer did you just play for as long as possible, knowing that all of your progress would be lost as soon as the machine was turned off, or if you ran out of lives. Now you could relax a little and take your time, rather than spending the entirety of your Saturday camped out in the living room, trying desperately to complete the game before the end of the weekend. And the amount of potential real-life applications for save points are enormous. How many times have you wanted to do something but stopped yourself just in case it goes wrong? Why not go on a mission to Mars or do a risky medical trial? All you need to do is make sure you've hit that save button, and then you're free to go back and try again when the spaceship explodes and all your limbs swell up and your head turns purple. The world would become carefree and full of daredevil risk takers, and that sounds good to me with absolutely no repercussions whatsoever. Number 2. Cheat codes. Oh, those were the days. You'd feel like somehow you'd found something that even the developers didn't know about as you hit a long sequence of buttons and bumpers in order to become invincible, or for some reason give everyone massive heads. A proud tradition very much kept alive by GTA these days, codes were always one of the best parts of any video game. They hit their zenith some time ago though, and nowadays it's quite rare to see them included, but that doesn't mean they wouldn't be useful outside of gaming. I don't care how complex the button series is, I will burn it into my memory if it means that I'm a millionaire, invincible, or even get given a tutu to wear like Captain Quark from Ratchet & Clank. Looking good, bud. I mean, yeah, cheaters never prosper and all, but whoever said that clearly never saw the all pedestrians are Elvis cheat in San Andreas or the exploding Lara cheat in Tomb Raider 2, and I don't care about their opinion until they do! Number 1. Respawn. The unquestionable ultimate video game ability, spawning, or to spawn, is defined as the live creation of a character and was first coined by id Software in regard to their demon murderer simulator, Doom. Respawning allows the player another go at life when things went wrong before and the ultimate price was paid. Most commonly used in first-person shooter games, but featured in most genres in some capacity, the capability to respawn might just be the closest thing we ever get to immortality, and who doesn't want that? It'd be amazing and not hauntingly depressing to see everyone you know and love die before you. Let's be honest, we'd give up all of the other abilities we've mentioned on this list so far just for this one. The potential to have a second chance when things didn't go quite to plan the first time around would be a weight off all of our shoulders. The only potential issue, beyond, destroying the human experience and absolutely wrecking any ability to enjoy your life in any regard whatsoever, is that usually respawning just puts you right back into harm's way, but eventually you'd get it right. Surely. And besides, you can't have everything, guys. Come on, let's be realistic here, alright? Let's ground this in reality, just a little bit. And that's our list. What video game perks would you like to see in your day-to-day life? Let us know in the comments below. You can follow myself and TripleJump on Twitter here, and while you're at it, why not support the things you enjoy by having a look at our Patreon? Finally, don't forget to like the video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the channel. I'm Ben from TripleJump, and thanks for watching.